Doc has a full-blown confession to make to you guys today. And I do believe that by the title of this video, you'll be able to understand a little bit more about what today's topic is going to be about. Again, I have a confession to make, so make sure you stay locked in. I like cougars. I actually enjoy dealing with, dating, lusting over, having casual relationships with older Filipinas. Not against it. Sometimes I encourage it. And ideally, what I've learned over time is that there are certain advantages to dating older Filipinas. Full transparency, I'm in a relationship, I'm good. I'm speaking about things that I have learned throughout my past that could potentially be beneficial to you guys today. And if you're enjoying the video, before we get into it, make sure you drop a like, because today's video is going to be interesting. Today, we're going to talk about the advantages of dating older women, more specifically, older Filipinas. So let's get it. I've written down a list of about 5 things or so that I personally believe make a older Filipina extremely beneficial. Now, when I talk about dating or dealing with older Filipinas, this can be in the casual manner. This could be in a meaningful long-term relationship manner. That is completely up to you and how you choose to pursue the situation at hand. I'm just giving you some of the advantages that I've recognized as it pertains to dealing with older Filipinas. I'm not necessarily a younger dude. And, you know, as I age, I guess things about me will change. But ideally, I have dealt with and entertained, casually talked to, and things of that nature with women that are older than me. I wouldn't say significantly older than me, but I would say they do have a decent number on the good doc. But the advantages that I'm going to share with you today are advantages that I think that all foreigners can definitely benefit from. All right. The first advantage, ladies and gentlemen, is usually they already know the basics of how to take care of their man. So there's very little need to teach them anything new. There's very few need for them to be taught how to do things. I've kind of learned over time that if you're dealing with younger Filipinas, they have to be trained, right? They have to be trained. They have to be trained to your likes, to your dislikes. And it becomes a process. Not that there's anything wrong with that. But sometimes in certain situations, I kind of feel like you just want a woman that already kind of knows the basics of what needs to be done. And maybe just a few intricate details that are specifically catered to you. You know, you kind of just throw them in there as needed. But most of the time, they know what they need to do. And I'm going to give you the perfect example of this. This is the funniest shit ever. Okay? When you're dealing with a younger Filipina, let's say, for example, you just finished having casual relationships with one another and you get hungry, you roll over. Baby girl, the younger Filipina, she might go in the kitchen, whip you up a little sandwich. You know, she might whip you up some top ramen, some Lucky Me ramen noodles and shit, or maybe the little cup of noodles and shit that they got in the Philippines. She might whip you up something real quick. I kind of feel like if you dealing with an older Filipina, baby girl gonna whip you up a full course meal. She'll look at you and say, honey, you up a whole meal of adobo, some tilapia. She'll go in there, fry you some fish and shit. I'm telling you. Y'all think I'm joking, but I'm being for real. I feel like the older Filipinas, they know how to take care of you, like for real, for real. I believe the younger Filipinas, they'll cook you up, they'll make you a little sandwich, something nice and simple and quick. The older Filipina, I feel like she gonna go the extra mile. You know what I'm saying? She gonna cook you up a meal. What do you want? Adobo? You want some sinigang? As long as she got the ingredients, bro, she gonna whoop you up a full course meal. And that's no cap. You think I'm playing? It sounds funny, but I'm being as realistic as humanly possible. They will make sure that you stay fed. They will definitely make sure that you stay fed. All right. So that's number one. All right, sliding on to number 2, they are more than likely to go above and beyond to keep you happy, and if what you shared with her is meaningful. Ideally, I do believe that they have the tendency to probably get when you're dealing with a younger Filipina. I believe that the older Filipina, she knows her place. She knows what she stands to lose and gain as a result of, and pretty much accepting of what it is that you guys have, depending on, how you lay it out. But as long as it's meaningful to her, she'll do whatever it takes to make you happy. I think she has the most promise. If you had to choose between the older and the younger ones, I do believe that the older Filipina has the most promise. And being able to, make sure that you're taken care of, well taken care of. All right. So that's my number 2. I just feel like they're more likely to go above and beyond, probably more so than you'll find with a younger Filipino. All right. Sliding on to number 3, Tolo, that low. They are more like they are likely not as sexually active at this age, so serial partners are limited. Allow me to be a little bit candid with you guys for a second. Allow me to be as honest and as brutally transparent as I can be. Just give me a moment. If you're not ready for the honesty, you can just skip past this part. But as Filipinas age, their options become a little bit more limited. You can say that for most women. As most women age, their options become not likely a lot of people who are trying to sleep with them or wanting to sleep with them. As a result, you may deal with an older Filipina that may not have had sex in like years. And I believe that to be true. Most of them have not had sexual relationships for quite a long time. Heaven forbid there's a kid involved and, a lot of their time is wrapped up in taking care of the child or whatever it may be. They just don't have time for sexual partners. So for you to just slide in and be the one of one in that particular moment, I'm telling you, you kind of just get to enjoy and reap the benefits of being, what I would like to say, in the right place at the right time. Because again, going back to going above and beyond, not having a fear of them being exposed to a bunch of sexual partners. Again, this is likely. I'm not going to say it's 100% guaranteed, of course, but likely there's not a lot of guys looking for these types of women. Not a lot of them. So as a result, when you do get with one and you do get to spend time with one, you'll know you expect it, right? You might understand that, it hits a little bit different because it hasn't been touched as often as you think it would have been. Now, I can't tell you what her past was like. Okay, I can't speak to her past because that's not my part. That's the information y'all have to speak to about with one another. We talked about dealing with Filipina past, but ideally, what I'm understanding and the way that I see the situation playing itself out is they're just not as sexually active. They got too much going on. And if they are sexually active, it's usually with just one person, not too many. I'm not saying that they can't have multiple partners. I'm just saying likely the older ones usually kind of just stick to one partner. Okay. So as a result, when you come in the game, man, you might be experiencing it on the back end wherein, you get to just reap the benefits. And let's not forget that the chances of baby girl, getting what you don't want her to get, as you believe that it is necessary to start shooting clubs up and shit. I shouldn't say that, but chances are you could probably get away with shooting up the club, because chances are they ain't gonna be no escapees. You feel me? Ain't gonna be no runners that are gonna make it out. You know what I mean? It sometimes it floats, sometimes it does not. All right. Again, pardon me for the honesty, but let's go ahead and rock it out. All right. I believe the last one, or second to the last one, guys, is she doesn't need permission to go out on a date with you. Back to shooting up the club part. Let me get to that. When you're dealing with younger ones, they are super fertile. It's a risk. It's a risk. And it is a risk that I would not be willing to take with a younger Filipino. With the older one, yeah, I would definitely take that risk. I would definitely take that risk. I'm fucked up. I know. Bear with me. Anyways, number 4, or whatever number I'm on right now. She doesn't need permission to go out on a date with you. Sometimes when you're dealing with younger Filipinas, you start to understand that there's always a permission. Oh, I can't go out unless I bring somebody, or oh, I need to bring my friend, or my mother's not. Oh, I asked and they told me no. Ain't nobody asking for permission. You know what I'm saying? It's just not a thing. When you're older, you kind of just make your own rules. I mean, you got to just make sure you have somebody, make sure your affairs are in order, and you kind of just get to do whatever you want to. So for me, that is a huge advantage. Most of them, most of them have their own place. That is even better. Dating an older Filipina that has her own spot, you got a place to lay at. You ain't got to pay no rent nowhere. You can just kick it up in there, and of course, contribute to whatever household things you choose to commit to or choose to take care of. Bro, that is a match made in foreigner Filipina heaven. You feel me? And again, this could just be a casual thing. Like I said, it doesn't necessarily have to equal we're in a relationship, we are dating, this is long term, I'm going to make her my wife. It doesn't even have to be that committed. It could just be, yo, we genuinely enjoy each other's company. I like having you around. She like having me around. And so we'll just see how it plays out. We'll just see how it plays out. But like I said, guys, you don't have to ask permission to go out on a date. Dealing with permission or show up to the house and take her out, do all that stuff. Granted, you should do that anyways, even if she's far, she just want to meet you somewhere that's different. But ideally, I think you pick up what I am putting down. All right. Last one is most are pretty straightforward when it comes to dealing with the older Filipinas. I've learned that a lot of them are super straightforward. And as long as she is completely aware of the situation or what it is that you guys have together, if it suits them, they'll definitely be all in. Let me say that again. If she's aware of whatever it is that you guys have, if it's something that suits her, something she's okay with, she'll be all in. Honesty has always been the best policy, however you slice it. But I've learned that with the older ones, it becomes a little bit more apparent that honesty is all you need. You ain't got to lie to them, because a lot of them don't need fluff. They don't need promises of taking them to the United States like a lot of they just need to know that you're somebody that can occasionally do a little thing, and she'll probably be a friend, be a partner, or whatever you need to be for her in the moment, or whatever you opt to be for her in the moment. And 9 times out of 10, man, it's gonna play itself out. It's gonna play itself out beautifully, because most of them aren't. Well, that's a hard thing to say. I won't say that most of them aren't super jealous, but depending on how well the situation is understood, you don't have to worry about and or deal with jealousy issues. You understand? Jealousy issues will not be anything you have to deal with as long as she's well aware of what it is that you guys have, because she knows. And I hate to say this about Filipinas, but ideally, when you're older, and this could be for any woman in any capacity, when you're older, you start to understand what it really means to have significant, meaningful relationships. They don't necessarily follow the tradition of, oh, I'm a date you ever after. It doesn't follow that narrative as they age. They're more realistic. They are understanding. Like, look, maybe this guy's just coming through to just knock these walls out once a week or every other day or some shit like that. And I'm not saying that to be rude. I'm just saying that to be honest and candid, ladies and gentlemen. It's the truth. Most of them are understanding of what it is that y'all have with each other. And as long as they are willing to accept that understanding, guess what? It's a match made in heaven. Because they're not going to really get jealous, or they're not going to get in there. They might get in their feelings, but if they do happen to see you with a younger girl, most of the time, they're not going to really be like, oh, get up in his face and have a moment and shit like that. Most of them, if they're not dealing with you, they're busy being mothers, or they're busy with whatever occupation that they have, or whatever they're doing in their lives, whatever it takes to support their family or support their children or whatever it may be, even just support themselves. They're too busy to be worried about what you're doing when you're not with them. That's when it comes to dealing with older Filipinos. The younger ones, you, where you at, what you doing, can I see you, cause I miss you, where you at. Somebody said they saw you here, where you at the mall, are you at Guys on the Mall, are you at SM, where you at. Somebody said they saw you here, where are you do. That can be very, very frustrating. Okay, so I prefer dealing with women who have a lot of activities to keep them busy. That way they're not so much worried about what I'm doing when I'm trying to get things done. Okay. So I kind of feel like these are the things that you can expect for the most part I'm not going to say they're all going to be 100% true because, again, there are different variables for different situations that you need to take into consideration. But ideally, I think that this is what you can have an expectation for when it comes to dealing with older Filipinas. When I say older, guys, we're talking about late 30s, 35, 36, sometimes even up to the 40s and above. Okay. That's the particular age range that I'm referring to when we talk to old. And even though 36 isn't old, 36 is considered to be older in the eyes of many, right? 35 seems that a level of disparity. 35 is pretty much damn near over for most Filipinos. And I'm not saying that to be true. I mean, come on, man. Actually, you know what? Let's be real. Let's just cut the malarkey. You have Filipinas saying that at 35 it's pretty much a wrap. 30, your timeline is ticking. 35 is pretty much a wrap if you don't have anybody at that moment. You feel me? So again, societal pressures make that apparent. But ideally, you can pretty much create the relationship that you want to. You can custom make that relationship as you need to when it comes to dealing with older Filipinas. Because most of them are not dumb. They're not oblivious. They don't need to be lied to. They don't need to be, they don't need any of the extra shit that you would probably have to deal with when it comes to dealing with younger Filipinos. Okay. And that's just my piece, man. And I know somebody's going to have something to say. That's my expectations. Doc is just having fun, ladies and gentlemen. And I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe, notify, do all the good jazz, man. All of my good stuff, description area below. If you guys want to support the good doc in any capacity, there is a heart somewhere in the corner at the bottom of the video. Can't remember what corner I'm looking at right now. But if you want to share your thank you, man, drop $2 in the good doc's books, man. Highly appreciate it. If you just want to drop a like and that's it, by all means, likes are free. Feel free. All right. It has been fun. It has been real, man. But it's time for the good doc to go and get to getting. So with that being said, good doc is officially out. At least nako paalam, which means I am going now. Bye-bye. As always, love you guys. Sincerely do. Mahal kita. Mabuhay. Peace.